Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're plunging into something, well, pretty everyday seed quality, but with some really surprising twists.
That's right.
Our guide for this is an incredibly detailed personal evaluation by someone named Ang from their Notes on Gardening, Part 571. It's all about determining seed quality.
And it's fascinating stuff.
Totally. Ang's findings, they really challenge what most of us assume when we go buy seeds. So our mission today is to unpack Ang's observations. Because, well, it seems like what looks good on the packet might not actually be what grows best.
Yeah, and what's great about Ang's work is just how hands-on it was, not just reading labels,
Right.
They did actual germination projects, really digging into what makes a seed perform well beyond the pretty picture.
Exactly. And that first big factor Ang found, after all those sophisticated sprouting tests,
Mm-hmm.
it really flips expectations.
Mm-hmm.
It seems the fancier the packaging, the more effort put into that glossy marketing, the lower the seed quality often was. Well, quite a thought, isn't it? More flash, less actual growth.
Yeah.
But, I mean, why do you think Ang found that inverse relationship?
Well, it kind of suggests a few things maybe about the business side. Perhaps vendors pouring money into slick marketing. They might be less focused on the actual biology, the quality control,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe their supply chains are just too big and complex to keep everything perfectly fresh. That's tough. Or possibly, they're trying to compensate, selling the idea of quality because the product itself maybe isn't top-notch.
That rings true. I remember once picking this packet, beautiful photo,
Mm-hmm.
total dud in the garden. Ang's findings kind of validate that feeling.
Right.
So building on that, Ang's research then got even more specific, didn't it? It wasn't just about the brand or the vendor overall.
Indeed. Yeah, Ang also found that the plant species itself, or really the specific batch of seeds, made a huge difference, even from the same company. So it's not like one brand is always bad. It was more like certain species or particular batches they produce consistently had issues in Ang's tests, which it does make you wonder how vendors are really checking their own germination rates.
Good point.
Because Ang's hands-on testing caught things that maybe their, broader internal checks might miss, looking at specific batches, not just overall stock.
Right.
Interestingly, Ang did note one established name, more focused on commercial vegetable supply, less on flashy consumer stuff.
Yeah.
They consistently had better quality control. Their focus seemed to be purely on performance.
Fascinating. So it's granular, batch level stuff, which leads us perfectly to Ang's kind of ultimate finding about where the best quality seeds were found. And this is another real counterintuitive one.
It really is. Ang basically found that fresh seeds gotten directly from hobbyist gardeners, often the best quality.
Yeah.
Seriously. They even tested this with chili seeds. You'd think a specialist seed seller would win, right?
Absolutely.
But Ang found that fresh seeds, just taken from grocery store chilies, consistently germinated better than the chili seeds sold specifically as seeds by vendors.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it just underscores that sometimes the shortest, least commercial path is actually the best one.
Okay, so what's the bottom line here for you listening, wanting to grow something? Ang's main point seems crystal clear. Freshness is everything.
Absolutely.
The less time that seed spends tangled up in complex supply chains or sitting in fancy packaging, the better its chances seem to be. It really suggests sometimes just bypassing the usual commercial route gives you better results.
That's right. So to just sort of recap Ang's really eye-opening dive, flashy packaging, maybe a red flag, the specific plant species, and crucially, the batch matters a lot. And number one, freshness, which you might find from hobbyists or, surprisingly, even the grocery store. That's the key to success.
So here's a final thought then. If these observations hold true for something as basic as seeds, what does that suggest about how we evaluate quality, source products in other parts of our lives?
That's a great question. It really pushes us to look past the surface, doesn't it?
It really does. Makes you think about the origin, the journey, the inherent freshness of whatever it is we're buying.
Indeed. Question the shiny exterior and, well, dig for the real substance underneath.
Couldn't agree more. So next time you're picking up seeds or maybe anything else, just observe your own experiences. Think about where things truly come from and what that journey might mean for their actual quality. That's all for this deep dive.